big way, whether we look at agri value chain perspective or we look at it from frontier technology perspective. If I just correlate some examples of how frontier technologies are being used in different aspects of agri value chain, some top examples that come to my mind are remote sensing technology. If you look at it, I think agri is one of the few industries which is really using it in a very meaningful way, whether it's for settling claims or crop advisories or pest advisories and things like that. Blockchain technology sees adoption in things like seed and produce traceability. You also talked about traceability, or in extending credits to farmers. A lot of financial management is happening through blockchain technology today. If you talk about marketplaces, very interesting digital marketplaces are emerging. We heard about a lot of information asymmetry getting solved by a lot of startups working in marketplace domain. And they work both input side of the value chain and post-harvest side of the value chain. Machine learning is getting deeply embedded across all solutions of the value chain, right? Be it all your farmer advisories or quality assaying. Again, a lot of usage of machine learning is what we see there. Drones, as you talked about earlier also, drones are being used to create land records. And what I expect is some new cases will emerge very shortly after the Krishi drone, Kisan drone that government talked about in the last budget. Possibly new use cases will emerge around areas around pest detection, pest management, so on and so forth. IoT sees a lot of adoption, not just in farm management, but also in areas like irrigation, dairy, and allied industry. So yes, it's an interesting domain, interesting area that's shaping up. Now, if I talk about, now at Amazon, at Amazon as a group, when you look at any product or a service that we are coming up with, we always talk about working backwards from a customer need. Okay, and if I look at the overall digital agriculture space that I have, that we are working in, I look at three key stakeholders or customers, and then I would like to double click on the need of each one of them. Of course, the first and the foremost customer at Apex that we look at is the farmer, right? Everything in agriculture revolves around farmer, and from farmer perspective, we look at how does farmer reduce the cost of production, how do they increase their revenue, and how do they remove uncertainty. And to cater to all these, what they really need is, what farmer really needs today is four things: access to inputs, access to market, access to advisory, and access to finance. Yeah. And in my head, farmer is the ultimate consumer of technology in this entire digital agri value chain. Across all four these areas that I talked about: inputs, markets, advisory, and finance. Their needs, challenges, again, a lot of unpredictability that they undergo, that gets discussed a lot. So I wouldn't want to spend too much time on what farmer needs, but yes, we all recognize that farmer is the ultimate stakeholder, customer for whom we need to solve. And that is for the marginal farmer. Marginal farmer today, she is the most disadvantaged one, while a lot of big solutions come around, big farmers, well-to-do farmers, it's the marginal farmer who is like really underprivileged, ignored, and it's for them, for underprivileged farmers, that we really need to rethink technology solutions and how do we go and tackle them. Let me talk about the second key stakeholder that I look at, or second key pillar stone. I look at a three-legged tool. So second key pillar that I have, first stakeholder that I have in my mind are startups. Okay, so startups are the ones who are really bringing in innovation on table across the value chain. They are the providers of technology. Some top of my mind examples across value chain would be, if I look at input side, I can think of entities like Farms and Dehat, who are not just rethinking technology, but also rethinking business model on how to cater to farmers. If I talk about soil quality, we have startups like Krishi Tantra who have these little devices developed, and an interesting business model of working with local village level entrepreneurs, where earlier soil testing time used to 4 to 5 days, they bring it down to literally 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the conditions. If I look at advisory side, again, a whole lot of startups there, from Tropin, Satshore, Amnex, different ones working on different crops, different states and things like that. If I talk about marketplace, again, that's an interesting area where the farmer as a seller comes together along with either government as a buyer or direct traders or end consumers as buyers. So again, some interesting work there being done by entities like Palgudi, Intello Lab, so on and so forth there. And there are a lot of other private sector marketplaces, including the likes of Amazon Fresh, who are doing interesting